Today, I'm going to give you a quick tip for your website and something that you can do to improve accessibility and alleviate some anxiety. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. I am recording this on Sunday night. You may hear me talking to Moose because the Super Bowl just finished up. In my mind, I was like, it starts at 3. It'll be done by 5. I don't know why I thought that. So it's now 7:30 at night. Recording this for you because I wanted to make sure I was able to watch the Super Bowl, and Seattle won. So, I will say folks here, there are Seattle fans here in where we live in Southern California. Now, I'm not sure if they're like Seattle fans because we're in California, or if it's because the Rams or the Chargers aren't in the Super Bowl. I don't know. But fireworks just went off, and Moose is currently sitting behind me panting. She really does not like fireworks. Do I know why? No, I have no idea why she's so afraid of fireworks. Genuinely, no idea. But she is afraid of fireworks, and so now she's just kind of behind me panting. So if I talk to her throughout this, she should be good. I think she's laying down now. I'm turning around. Yeah, looks like she's laying down. I feel like I just wanted to get her in my office so I could talk, and it hopefully would calm her. But nothing really big to report here today. As far as life and business stuff, everything is the same as it was last week. Last week, I will be honest with, anyone that asked, but last week I was not able to, I shouldn't say wasn't able. I didn't stick to my brick schedule as I usually would, because genuinely it was just like a really heavy work week. And I need to vow to never let that happen again. I don't know. Last week was just really, really busy, and I cannot help but think that because I started my Monday an hour earlier than when I usually do, and I gave a talk, I can't help but feel like that it set me behind the entire week. It seems ridiculous because I wasn't actually physically behind on work. I was just feeling like I was behind. I don't know, but either way, last week I felt like I was in constant catch up, even though realistically I sat down and I wrote a list and I was like, I'm actually not in catch up mode. It's just feeling that way. So with that being said, last week just felt really off. So fingers crossed I can get back to that today. I haven't practiced piano in a week and a half, and I feel like I need to just get back to it. I put off my workout, my second upper day, 2 weeks in a row now. I'm just feeling like I need to get back on track with my schedule and be really strict about it, because right now it's just the only word I can really use is chaotic. And I also need to just name the fact that what's going on in this country is it's really getting to me. I'm finding myself quicker to be annoyed and just quick to end up, I don't know, for lack of better terms, feeling frustrated with things that I typically would not be frustrated by. And yeah, it's just a lot. But so all of that being said, I feel like I'm explaining to you that I'm a human. So welcome. I am a human, and there are things that affect me outside of just, I have work to do. I am very, very, very affected by what's going on around me, meaning the world, and conversations that I'm having and conversations I'm actually not having yet. That has been weighing on me, because I need to have certain conversations with folks who are not necessarily in a place to have a conversation about what's going on around me and how it affects things. And anyway, I'm just a human, just like everyone else in this world. I am a human. And last week I felt I felt I hate using the word fragile, but I felt sort of fragile. And I was going through a rosacea flare, which also tells me my system was overloaded. All the things just felt really blah, to be honest with you. So I'm looking forward to hopefully turning a new leaf, if you will, this week and like having it feel a little bit more calm and, riding with it. We'll see. I need to get back to the brick. I'm looking at my brick and I'm like, I need to scan you, and be honest with myself and say that I don't need to do the after hour stuff that I was doing because I was not behind. But anyway, with all of that being said, oh my God, I forgot. I had like annoying tax stuff to deal with. That was that was one of my major stressors last week, was like this random tax stuff that I had to do that I did not prepare, not that I didn't anticipate having to do. And anyway, thank God for Claude. Let's just say that I used Claude to do some stuff with some sheets, and thank God for that. So yeah, that's really everything. I feel like business stuff is all the same old. I am booking into April. So I'm booking into April for my custom website design. I actually think my next date may be in May. I have folks booked for some discovery calls this week. So if you're looking to work with me, make sure you reach out. I do not know at this time exactly when I'm going to be able to open up retainer slots. Right now I'm full. I anticipate maybe June, maybe July, but again, I don't have a specific answer for that. I never really do because it requires someone to drop services in order to add one. So at the end of the day, I don't really have a specific estimate because it requires someone else to stop services. So just one of those things where I like to keep you updated as I can, and I'll let you know when I know. But in the interim, if you're interested, you can join my wait list. I just reworked my Instagram link in bio, so that should be good. But on my website, you will see a place to join the wait list for my monthly retainer option, whether it's SEO or for lack of better terms, it's any tasks. So, you have multiple launches per year, you need launch prep, what have you, all of that as well. Okay. Now, today's episode, I feel like we'll just jump right in. So today's episode, it comes on, I'm going to make it short because last week's episode was 40 minutes long. And I do think that if you haven't listened to that one, I think you should listen to it. I don't typically say that, like, oh, go listen to this other episode, but I do think that episode was really good. And I think it would be worth it to watch. I want to talk today about something that came up, I believe it was on my SEO school call. No, it wasn't. It was in the presentation I gave last week to Lauren Davis's group. And I was talking about contact pages because I'm a big proponent or a big pusher, if you will, of super in-depth contact pages. In my opinion, gone are the days of just putting contact and then a form, a phone number, and an email. I genuinely think we need to have more information, whether it's a direction for what to do, a direction for what to do next. I have talked about this before. One thing that I want to talk about that came up on that call and then again inside a group that I'm in is directions and parking information. And then honestly, what came up in my own medical adventures of parking. So when you have a website, it is your opportunity to talk to somebody without seeing them. So you don't have to see them first in order to talk to them. You can talk to them before they even reach out to you. The second opportunity to talk to someone who is now booked with you would be any sort of emails that you're sending out to those people. So there's two opportunities right there to talk to someone before they even set foot in your door. One of the things that I believe should be in both of those places, so place number one is contact page on your website, which also could end up overflowing into your FAQ section, wherever that is. And also inside any sort of automatic reminders that tell people like your appointment is coming up, or your appointment is in 2 days, or your appointment is in 1 hour. The piece of information that I think should be in both of those places is parking information. Now, I know you might be thinking either your parking is easy or your parking is something like a lot or a parking garage or you have to parallel park. I will tell you that if you're able to give a description in words and a visual representation of where to park, people will feel really at ease, either booking with you or coming to your office. So when you put it on your contact page, someone who sees that you have easy parking will likely I'm saying will likely, because I am definitely biased, will choose to come to your practice over a place that they don't have any estimate for parking. Now, again, parking anxiety is something that a lot of folks will say that they have. They just want to know the parking situation before they go. So for me, my goal on the contact page is to give people an idea about the parking situation. The same thing goes inside an FAQ page or inside an FAQ option, either a separate page or on your contact page itself, just letting people know, here's the parking details. Here is a picture of where you're going to park. Here's some directions of where you're going to park. Here's how much it costs, whatever. And then inside the same exact information inside that pre-appointment email to say, hey, you might want to arrive X amount of minutes early so that you can park here, or no worries, regardless of when you get here, we have a huge parking lot in front of our office. We are located downtown. You will need to find parking on the street, so just be aware that it may be busy, or if you're coming to an appointment between 11 and 1, there will be less parking because we don't have an active parking lot. We only have street parking. So just note that you may have to walk farther in order to find a spot. So just giving people the information that they need in order to, one, arrive at your office on time, and two, not have more anxiety just because they're parking, in addition to the anxiety that they likely already have coming to see you. I do think after the first time, it's much better, but for most folks, the first time they go to a provider's office, it can feel like a lot. And regardless of what you've done to prep people, as far as, you have the photos on your website, you have talked to them on the phone on a call, you have called them to book, you have got the intake information, they filled out all the intake paperwork. Also, you could actually put parking information on the intake paperwork as well on a follow-up email. But you've done all that work. In your mind, you're like, well, of course, this person feels super confident coming to see me. The last step is actually walking out the door, getting in their car, and getting to you. So when I was going to when I was going to two different appointments, one of the appointments had a huge parking lot, super easy to get there. I obviously Google Maps it, and I looked on the Google Maps situation to be like, how early do I need to get there? Because I was already really nervous about this appointment to begin with. And then number two, it was like, I wasn't sure exactly how to get there, so I knew I would be going slow anyway. And then 3, I was going on the 405, which is the highway in California that's 1 million lanes wide. So I don't love it. So I knew that I needed extra time to get there regardless, but knowing that there was a parking lot waiting for me was super alleviating. Whereas a different place that I went for a medical appointment, I had to find a spot on the street. And I don't love parallel parking, and where the appointment isn't really, it's downtown, and there are other options, but if I didn't realize where it was and where the parking lot or optional parking lots are, it would have been really difficult for me to show up to what I thought would be, a simple situation of park and go, and then now having to walk, half a mile to get there, because now I'm late, I'm frustrated, my anxiety is higher, my heart rate's higher, obviously, because I had to just do all this extra stuff. So point being, now that I've given you my little spiel, is I truly believe having parking information on your contact page and inside your FAQs and inside any appointment reminder emails is such a game changer for alleviating any sort of potential stress that someone may have to, based on whether it's past experiences or just in general wanting to be on time and wanting to show up to your office at the time that they're supposed to. And I think it's just a good idea overall to alleviate some of that fear and build that trust. Most people would benefit from what the parking situation is. So I personally would always vote to put it on the website. I would always vote to put it in the reminder emails because, once is always never. We want to make sure we say it more than once. and just give people the information they need in order to succeed when they come to see you, and so that they can come to see you and walk through the door and feel more relaxed rather than all amped up because they couldn't find parking. It's just a very easy controllable for you, even if the parking situation is horrible where your clinic is, because as long as you give people the information up front, let them know, give them the details, everything will be okay. All right. That was a total of 15 minutes. Like I said, I'm keeping it short for you today because, I want you to go listen to the episode from last week if you didn't already. And I also just wanted to keep this to be short. I said last week as I was recording, I like to keep it below 30 minutes. Totally overshot that one. So with this one being half the length, I feel like you'll have plenty of time to either catch up or listen to another lovely podcast on your way to wherever you're going. All right. I am super excited, fingers crossed, for a week that will feel a little less chaotic than last week and maybe some decreased tension around the world, but fingers crossed again. I got to make do with what's happening here and really control the controllables, and one of those is going to be that brick device. So I'm looking forward to scanning that at the end of my days this week. I hope you have a lovely week. Always want to know what you want to hear about, so please feel free to contact me in any way to let me know any topics that you're dying to hear about, and I'll be happy to chat. Alrighty, friends. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time.